Hello. Welcome to this video. And as I did for the first quarter of the year, let's see my finances for the second quarter of the year and for the mid of the year. So we are going to go through the month of July, and then we're also going to go through a little bit of the half of the year. And what I want to do in this video especially is to make some consideration about the mid of the year, so the first half of the year, and check with you and so that you also can understand my thought process that goes behind, so the actual reasons why I keep track of all of this, and how I basically investigate the reason why behind some expenses, and how I what is my thought process to try and understand if I can make my expenses more efficient. Okay, so let's start. Well, I would skip through the income because this is the base income and there's nothing to add. It doesn't really change much. Let's go to the expenses, which is really the most important part. When it comes to housing, we are basically there. We bought some furniture, I think, in June. That's why it's a bit more than 100%. So when it comes to health, I had to go to the doctor. That's why it's a bit more than what it's supposed to be, because when we keep track of the budget, basically what we put is the insurance premium that we have to pay every month. We don't add any forecast on how much money we are going to spend, medical bills. We just pay as we have. Groceries, I'm very happy because it's lower than what the budget is. When it comes to the gas station is a big topic. I will talk about it a bit more after when I go through the whole entire half of the year. And but it's less than than the average monthly, but here we have a big problem in budgeting. So I think we budgeted wrong for the gas stations. That's why it's always more than what it's budgeted. Um, Transport, I just had to take the train, so that's why it's a bit more than the normal subscription to the public transportation. Phone and internet, basically it. This is the subscription for me and my girlfriend, and then I also have Netflix in here. Fun and vacations. Fun and vacations. I'm really happy because we spent less than we were supposed to. So that's perfectly fine. Transport. Here, I would. I said I would not talk about my girlfriend stuff, but here I would. I want to talk about it because this is really a smart thing that I think we did. She did. It was her idea. So, 62 francs is the monthly subscription to the public transportation, but she works 10 minutes by foot from here, and uh, um, and she goes by foot, so she doesn't take the tram. It wouldn't make sense. So she said, you know what? Why don't I pay the tram only when I use it? So that's what she did. So as you can see, she spent quite a lot less. So 50 francs less. It's a lot of money. And so I would also encourage you, if you have subscriptions, maybe for public transportation or to other things. I don't know. I think there is also subscription to have a coffee. Like you can pay each month and then you can get how much coffee you want. Just check if you really spend more than what you would spend if you would buy the single things. Because, for example, my girlfriend wasn't was not spending nowhere near as the monthly subscription. Of course, because she doesn't take the train every day. I do take the train every day. I would spend triple if I had to buy the ticket every day. So yeah, I would encourage you to do the same. When it comes to scooter and camper, I will talk about this later. I will not do any spoilers. In just about 5 minutes, when we go to the whole half of the year, I will talk about it. Eating out, it's our sin because we do a lot of Burger King. Burger King is yeah, it's our addiction, I would say. Burger King and McDonald's. We don't eat that much ourselves alone out. That's good. I eat out mainly as a consequence of Burger King because if we eat out on Burger King, we do it at dinner, and then I don't have the time and the will to cook for lunch the next day, and so I go out to eat for lunch as well. And then the rest, it's basically nothing. But let's go to the half of the year. because I think it's more interesting. When it comes to housing, it's 50%. There is not much that we can play around here. It's just the rent. So it's gonna be more or less 50%. When it comes to scooter and camper, let's go together and see what scooter and camper is. So, scooter and camper. Well, let's start from the beginning. Um, Here, these are basically crumbles. It's nothing major. It's just the heating system of our van. Was it essential? Well, if you want to have a heated camper, I would say it's essential, but it's okay. The main costs were in 2023, so it's not nothing major. Here we have some shield numbers that you have to pay, and this is basically the tax for the highway. It's 40 francs a year. Here, this is the parking. This is the first big expense. This is a parking, but it's for the full year. So for the entire year of 2024, we had to pay 264 francs. So that's again basically essential. This is the thing to mount the shield number. This is to clean the van. This is the registration fees, the taxes that you have to pay on the vehicle each year. And this is for the few days in Tessin that it was still registered in Tessin. This is on repairs, and here we have another big expense. I would say this plus this one. It's repairs and the service that I had to do. I do the service myself. That's why basically it costs much less. It would cost probably 400 to 500 francs if I would do it by someone else. The actual service costs me about 100 francs. But when I do the service, I don't only buy things for that service. I try to buy in bulk. So probably the next service, I will not have to buy anything. So it's gonna be nothing to pay. Here, the registration, but in Bern, in the canton of Bern, it's 600 francs. It's about 100 francs more than Ticine. This is again for the entire year, and this is again essential. Then this is some repairs on the van, and here we get to the fun part. So if you go this plus this plus this plus this minus this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this, it's about 200 and 500 francs. What is this? This is my new motorcycle. So I wanted to splurge some money and I bought myself a motorcycle, which as you can see, right from the get-go, it cost me 2,500 francs. This includes the insurance, this includes some things, general things for the motorcycle, this includes clothings. Clothings, fortunately, we can buy them in Germany and we get back the VAT. So this plus this, so it's about 1,200 francs for the clothing. This includes helmet, jacket, pants, boots, and basically that. And then the registration for the motorbike, then some other clothing for the bike, some other clothing for the bike, the saddlebags, sorry, for the bike, the first service of the bike after 1,000 kilometers, and this one I cannot do it myself. I have to go to the dealer, to the dealership to have it serviced because for the first 4 years it's under warranty, and I just have to do it like that. They told me I have to bring it in, and I will bring it in because I don't want to mess up my warranty. Maybe I could do it myself, write down every spare part that I buy and everything, but it's just a mess, and then good luck proving that you did everything right. It's not really, it doesn't really cost that much to have a motorbike serviced. But yeah, about 2,500 francs of this entire budget, of this entire expenses, are for my motorcycle. And if we go 3,800 minus 2,500, at real expenses without the motorcycles would be about 1,300, which is less than the budget. Again, remember the registration, the parking, the spot, and the service are things that I'm not going to do in the second half of the year. So actually, these 1,300 francs, it's basically for the entire year. So here I should get more or less 100%. I would say 80%, 90%. So if I didn't buy the motorcycle, we would be on track. but I did buy the motorcycle. So we are not on track. That means that next year I will have to account for this. I would have to budget the motorcycle in. Of course, many things I will not have to buy them again. The clothing, I will not buy it again. Many things I will have to do. So the service, I have to do it again next year. Registration, I have to buy it next year, to pay next year. So yeah, we'll have to increase the budget. Now, I don't increase the budget mid-year. We usually sit down, me and my girlfriend together, and we do the budget every year for the following year, and we don't touch it just because it's a mess to touch it. Because if I start to touch it, then I also have to change the savings because everything has to sum up, and it doesn't make sense. It's just more effort for nothing. When it comes to health, I'm almost at 100%, even though I should be at 50 because we are at the middle of the year. And that's basically it's costs for the doctor, and then it's also the gym. So in the health, of course, we include the gym because it's part of our health. But the problem is that we budget only the premium. So probably what we will do next year is to budget also the gym. So if we actually go to the gym for the whole year, as we are doing right now, we go about 2 to 3 times a week. So if we actually keep going to the gym, we will, of course, include it into the budget. When it comes to the scooter, the expense for the bike, not the scooter, the bike was essential. Absolutely not. But it's a thing that I've been thinking about for a long, long time. I wanted to have some fun with a motorbike. I really like motorcycles. I used to ride a motorcycle from my brother. Uh, and I really wanted to buy a good motorcycle, a nice motorcycle, and I wanted to enjoy it to the fullest. So that's why I spent also a lot of money on the gear, but it was not essential. When it comes to health, of course, it's essential. The gym is also essential. So when it comes to insurance, it's mandatory, and when it comes to go to the doctor, it's almost mandatory because we don't cheap out on doctors. But well, it's not that you can cheap out on doctors because here in Switzerland, the prices that the doctors can give you are always the same. They are regulated, federally regulated, sorry, cantonally regulated. But I mean, we don't cheap out in the sense that we go to the doctor if we have to, of course, but also the gym. It's really important that we keep ourselves active. So yes, it's essential. It doesn't matter that we went over budget or far or almost to the full budget for the whole year, it's still essential. When it comes to groceries, I'm really happy because we are at 46%. We should have been at 50, so we are spending less than we should have. When it goes to fun and vacation, let's now go and see what fun and vacation is, because this one is also a bit funny. So again, crumbles, crumbles, crumbles. This is basically the holiday in Croatia. This is having fun in Bern. This is having fun. This is candlelight. So we went to a concert in Basel. It costed us together 100 francs. I wouldn't say it's crumbles, but more or less it's only 100 francs. And then we go to the fun part. It's this one plus 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 this one, and that's it. So that's almost 400 francs. For what? To go ski. For how long? One weekend. So we went to the canton of Graubünden in Schkuhl to go ski. That's in Engadin, south part of Engadin. Very beautiful place, but a very expensive place. The main reasons why it's expensive, well, let's say three things. One, skiing in Switzerland, if you go to big resorts, is expensive. Not expensive as the US, but it's expensive. It's not cheap. Then the two most important parts are if you want to go to this part of the Engadin, you have to take the train because the road is closed. There is no way you can get to Schkuhl, at least from the side of Bern, if you don't pay the train. And this is not the train for persons, this is the train for the van. So we pay gas to get to the train station. We embark for about a 10 minutes ride, 15 minutes ride, and it costs 40 francs going, 40 francs going back. So about 80 francs. There's this one plus this one. This is only the train. So just to get there, you have to pay 80 francs. Then you cannot sleep in the canton of Graubünden on parking lots. We asked, there was no way. So again, 26 francs per night to sleep. So 50 francs. And then, of course, you have the ski passes for 2 days. One of these 2 days, it was also snowing, and half of the slopes were closed. Almost half. Of course, almost half, because if it was more than half, they would have to return the money. So it's almost half. Um, but yeah, now, on this note, of course, it was not essential, but when it comes to fun and vacation, we have a budget and we want to spend, almost, we fairly want to spend that budget because, again, if we only work and then we stay at home, it's no fun to work. So we do like our work, but we also like to enjoy our weekends. But this is also a bit of a, I would not say a dumb thing, but I mean, Engadin was nice. We wanted to go see Engadin. We knew that it was going to be expensive, so it's perfectly okay. It's not that we just woke up one day and decided, but probably we will not do it again the next year. To go see Engadin, you can go in summer. In summer, you don't have to pay the train. You can maybe go. We could go, for example, in Ticino, in Ticino, sleep in Ticino at my parents, so not pay for camping. Or we could go camping, but with our tent, where we would spend less. And overall, we would not have to pay for the ski passes. So we could go in summer, visit Engadin, then go back. And then if we want to go ski, we could go, for example, to Chamonix, where you spend probably half for the ski passes. You can find parking spaces to sleep at night for free because they don't really care much. And you don't have to pay any train. So it's overall a more efficient way to go skiing in a nice place and to have fun. So this is one aspect of it. Of course, if you want to go to Engadin and if you want to go to Engadin to ski, this is the price you have to pay. So it's nowhere, no other way to spend less if you want to do exactly that. Um, then let's go forward with the spa. So we decided to go to a spa near Zurich, if I remember correctly. Was this essential? Of course not, but we just wanted to splurge some money. We wanted to have a nice day together. It was for Valentine's Day to celebrate, and we just wanted to do it. Again, it's not essential, but there are some other ways we could have made this cheaper. For example, not going Switzerland. The problem that we had with this spa day is that we didn't research much on two aspects. One, we didn't really research on other options in Germany, where it would have costed probably less, or in Italy. And also, I was hoping that my insurance would pay for a part of these costs, but it didn't because they don't have a convention with this specific spa. So in Switzerland, you have the mandatory insurance, which covers doctors and so on. Then you also have complementary insurance, which could cover the certain health-related things like massages, spas, and other things like glasses and so on. So I tried to get the refund, but my insurance was not affiliated, so they couldn't give it to me. But we could have researched a spa that would give us this benefit. Then my girlfriend went to Barcelona. This was completely okay. There was no way else to do this activity, which was almost necessary without spending this much money. One thing was maybe to plan a little bit better ahead, but in this circumstance, there was no possibility to do that. But if we would have planned a little bit better, we could have gotten the tickets for less. Then we went to Chamonix, and that's about it. So as you can see, I mean, there is a part where we have to adjust our budget if we want to really keep this lifestyle, which is a fairly normal lifestyle. We don't do many things that we cannot afford. But there are certain things that we can do more efficiently to try and spend a little bit less without ruining our experience or making our experience worse. So this is something to think about, I think. Uh, gas stations. Gas stations, now that we have the motorcycle, we will probably spend a little bit less on gas because the motorcycle spends less gas. We will probably go out a little bit more, so maybe the things compensate. I don't know. But the problem here is that we have to budget better. Again, we use the van to go out to camp, but to go to the scene also, but also to go grocery shopping. And if we want to keep doing those things, which are partially necessary, such as going grocery shopping, because we spend the amount of money that we spend in gas stations is to go grocery shopping is less than the amount of money that we save to go in Germany to grocery shop. So considering also they give us back the VAT. So this is a budget problem. We will have to rebudget. Eating out. Eating out is not really a budget problem. It's our problem because when we go to eating out, what we see is basically this: McDonald's, Burger King, Burger King, McDonald's, Burger King, McDonald's, 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 Burger King, 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 Burger King. So the problem is that we have an addiction to McDonald's and Burger King. As you can see, also there are some bigger expenses, such as this one, which is sushi, and this one, which is a nice restaurant in Switzerland. But now I think, and this one, which is to eat out when we went to Chamonix. But at this point, I think we have to think about whether or not we uh, really like to go to Burger King, or if we would prefer to diverge those amount of money to go to better restaurants. Because right now what we're doing is both. We go to Burger King and we go to nice restaurants. But if you want to be strict with eating out and try to spend as least amount of money to eat out as possible, I think you have to make a choice between going out fewer times but to nicer restaurants, or to go out uh, more often. Now, to do this, we have to understand if we really like Burger King and if we enjoy the experience to go to Burger King. Of course, Burger King is shitty compared to a nice restaurant. That's not an argument. The thing is that we mainly go to Burger King when we are either lazy, or if I don't want to cook at dinner, or if we do some activities. If we do some activities, we try to understand if we should put it into fun and vacation or into eating out. But mainly it's because I don't want to cook or we are just lazy. This is also a bigger problem because if we go to Burger King, I will not cook for dinner, but I will also not cook for lunch. That means that we will have to spend money to eat out for lunch. Now, my girlfriend is fairly good at eating out when she goes out for work. Because she goes out to Coop or to Migros and she spends more or less 5 francs per lunch. But I am not that good. I like to go into this nice. It's not a restaurant. It's like a cafeteria, and I spend about 13 francs to eat out. It's not okay, but I also want to enjoy because it fills you up. It's very good. But if I don't go to Burger King, I most likely do not eat out at lunch because I cook at home. Because when I cook for dinner, it's just a couple of minutes more to also cook for lunch. I think we will have to decide whether or not we want to keep going to Burger King, or if we want to go to nicer restaurants, or if we want to keep both. If we want to keep both, then we have to adjust the budget and we have to accept that our expense for eating out is going to increase. It's fine both ways, it's fine, but you have to make a choice and you have to make an aware choice, I think. Then when it comes to transportation, here there is not much to say. This is my subscription, monthly subscription, plus some train tickets to go to the scene. In the budget, I only have the subscription. I don't have the train tickets to the scene because I don't know when I'm going, so it doesn't make sense to put it in the budget. So that's perfectly fine. Phone and internet, it's about 50%, it's perfectly fine. Eating out for me and for my girlfriend, this is singles. Usually it's only when we go out either with colleagues or for lunch. And this is the thing that I was talking to you about before. I spend too much when I go out at lunch, and the reason why I spend for lunch is because we eat out at dinner. So yeah, and everything else is basically nothing. Gifts, and but for that we don't have a budget. When it comes to the savings, as you can see here, it's certainly more than 50%. Unfortunately, though, that also keeps track of the taxes. So if we go 44,000 minus 6,500 minus 1,030, we get 26,000, about 26,500 divided by 70,000, which is our yearly budget. We get to 38%. 38%, which is not good. We, of course, want to be at 50%, but because our expenses are that high, it's of course going to be like that. As you can see here, our expenses from January increased each and every month, and that I would not say that made me upset, but it made me feel a little bit, okay, I think we need to do something about it. We really need to sit down, and that's what I do at the half of the year. Fortunately, though, in June, I was not expecting this, but in June, we reached the first month where we decreased our expenses. And actually, if it wasn't for 5 francs that we spent more than January, it would have been the month where we spent the least. So in January, we spent 3,240 francs. If we go to June, we spent about 5 francs more, so 3,245 francs. But still, each and every month, it's over our budget. It's always over our budget. So this portion here, so if I go back to total year, you see it better. This darker portion here is what is in excess to our budget. So yeah, we certainly have to think better and also adjust our budget better, because there are both things. I don't think we splurge too much money. It's just that we don't forecast really good. So we put a really high standard of, okay, we are not going to eat out that much. But then we realize that we enjoy going out, and we realize that we can go out, and that really doesn't impact our economic life that much. And so we go out. So we have to really adjust. Of course, the month of May has no excuses. It's double our budget. There we have we should have done something. In July, the expenses are going to be a bit higher because we bought the flight tickets to go to Argentina. And overall, probably I'm expecting the expenses to be every month a bit higher because, again, there are going to be some things next semester, including Argentina, vacation to Argentina, including vacations to Croatia for Christmas, including that we will go to Croatia in a couple of weeks in August. And so, but the big news is that we reached 100,000 francs, and we went above 100,000 francs. So this makes us very, very happy because overall we spent a lot. We didn't save as much as we wanted to, but at the end of the day, mid 2024, we managed to surpass 100,000 francs in net worth. In net worth, which means including taxes, including everything that we have to pay up to now, we went above 100K, which is a lot. So if we go back to about a year ago, it was end of July 2023, we were a bit above 60,000, and we are now about at 104,000, which means an increase of around 40,000 francs. It's a lot of money. Again, The next half of the year, it's probably not going to be 40,000 because of all these for these expenses that we are going to incur, but still, it's a really high number. When it comes to the savings rate, the savings rates are increasing for my girlfriend and for me from April decreasing. The reason behind is again a little bit the motorcycle, a little bit because I spent too much on eating out, a little bit because I have to be a bit more careful with how I spend my money, a bit more considerate. I think I have to go back um, to really think up through about my expenses, to really think if I really need it, if I really want it, and if it's going to impact my quality of life as much as the monetary value of that expense. So now let's go to the investments. It didn't change much. I still have to deposit the 7,000 into my third pillar. It's just a mental thing because I cannot take it out as easily as from interactive brokers. It's only a mental thing. I have to do it. I will have to do it before the end of December for sure. Otherwise, I cannot deduct it from my taxes. But yeah, I will do it. I will. I promise. I will do it. But it's sitting here. It's okay. My second pillar is growing. It's hard to estimate because I cannot see the amount of money that I have instantly. I have to wait until the end of the year when I will get the report from the company, and then I will understand how much money I have. The stocks didn't change. The bonds didn't change. Alternatives, they did change because now we have a new entry. It's the Suzuki V-Strom 650 XT. It's my new motorcycle. So if you know it, write it in the comments. How much did I pay for it? I paid 9,000 francs. As you can see here, it's 8,100. Why do I say it's 9,000 francs? Because I will account it this way. So first of all, it's not a 9,000 francs expense. It's just a transfer of assets. The bike is in here because it's an asset for me, it has value, but every month it loses some of it. As soon as I bought it in April, it was 9,000 francs. As soon as I bought it, it decreased its value by 10%. So that's why it's 8,100. And then after that, each month I will deduct 5% from the remaining value. The first month I accidentally did again 10%, I think. But yeah, after that I did 5%, and I'm going to continue to do 5% until I get to half. So until I get to 4,500 francs, when I get to that number, I will just keep it stable. Then after 5, 10 years, I will try to adjust it. I have to say, this is very conservative. If you try to buy the same motorcycle in Switzerland, you would probably used, you would probably pay about 8,000 francs. So it's fairly conservative, I would say. But yeah, that's basically it. New additions are the summary table. So this is the summary where you and I can see a little bit better the change in my net worth. This is my personal net worth and how much there is change every month. So as you can see, at the end of 2023, I had 60,000 francs, and at the end of June, I had 80,000 francs. That means an increase of 20,000. So my goal is to have 30,000 francs per year of increase. Actually, that goal is related to the savings that I do. Of course, I cannot keep goals on increase on net worth alone because a lot of it plays a role my investments, and my investments can go well, can go less well. So here for example there are 4,000 francs, so I actually saved about 16,000 francs. One thing is to notice is also that this one is one of the best months after January, but January I had double my salary because of the 13th month. Of course, the 13th I receive it in December, but I think I explained it. I always account my salary at the first of the next month. And then we have March, where I also had a lot of money in, a lot of money into my savings, and then we have June. Another addition is this first pillar. The first pillar is basically the social pension. So it's based on how much money you paid in and also how much for how long you paid in. If you pay in a lot of money, it doesn't mean that you will receive a lot of money. Usually, if you pay a lot of money, you will not receive what you paid. You will not receive it back. It goes like this. If you pay on average 88,000 francs every year, if you get paid, sorry, if your gross salary is about 88,000 francs per year on average, and you pay for 43 years, at retirement to this date, you will receive 2,450 francs. How do I get to this estimate? This is basically the present value of future annuities. I can go to our website. It's called Escal. It's a website where you can estimate your pension at retirement. And what I basically do is I put in the amount of money that I got paid, so my gross salary for every year up to 2023, and then I pretend that I don't pay any more. So I just don't get paid. It's like if I would go away from Switzerland, for example. So I put zero for the rest of the years until my retirement, and then it gives me back the amount of money that I would get in pension every month. So it's 111 francs. And then I put this to the yearly, and then I tax it. This is 20% tax. And then I basically project it to the future, and then I discount it back. And this is the amount of money. Do I include it in my net worth? No, because I believe it's a bit of a cheat, because there is no way I can actually take that money. Second pillar, I can take it, for example, if I want to start a company or if I want to buy a house. Uh, Third pillar as well. First pillar, there is no way. You have to wait your retirement, and if you die, that's it. You will not get any money. Taxes, this is income taxes. They are already included because I keep them in a separate account, let's say. So these are here. They are, of course, already included. And then we have also this new thing. This is the taxes on my pillars. The second and the third pillar. So when you take the money out of the second and third pillar, you will have to pay a lump tax. So that's about 4 to 7%, depending on how much money you get out. If you get out less than 100K, it's about 4 to 4.5%, also depending on where you live. I estimated 4.5%. Do I include that one into my net worth? No, because these income taxes are very much overestimated. I received my tax returns for 2023. They're much less than I saved for them. And also, I still have to do my first taxes in Bern with my current salary. So in 2025, I will do my taxes for 2024. And mid 2025, I will get the return. I will know how much tax I have to pay. And then I can much better estimate how much is my tax burden, and then deduct it fairly from my net worth, from my gross worth, sorry. And then I will also include these pillars taxes so that I can get a very accurate, more accurate picture. Right now, trust me, my taxes are overestimated. Therefore, my net worth is probably a bit underestimated, but it's perfectly okay. My goal actually was to reach 100,000 francs per the end of 2024. Will I manage? Probably not. 99% the answer is no, because it's really going to be hard to save 20,000 francs more. Again, considering all the foreseen expenses. So I would say let's postpone this goal to probably September 2025. September is going to be my birthday and I will turn 26. It would be nice if I managed to get my personal net worth to 100,000 francs before I turn 26. That would be really amazing. But let's see. For now, I'm really happy with what I did. Also another addition is these net worths in euros, dollars, and pounds. So if we go to these net worths, we see that euro is a little bit more than 80,000. In dollars, we are almost at 9,000. That means that probably in dollars, I will reach $100,000 at the end of the year. So maybe at the end of the year, I can do a bit of a clickbaity video where I say I reached 100K. But no, in all reality, what is really important for me is the Swiss franc net worth because I spend most of my money in Swiss francs. I live in Switzerland, so the Swiss franc is my currency of reference. And pounds, it's a bit of a memory of my times in studying in the UK. This is about it, I would say. Another thing is that me and my girlfriend opened a business. I will not talk about it too much. It doesn't make any income to this date. It only makes expenses. But that's why we have this business rebalance. So basically, the expenses that we incur in the business, they are all accounted in a separate accounting sheet, which is not done in Excel. And then here I treat it as an investment. So we invested a sum of money. Each month, I rebalance that investment, just like I do for interactive brokers. So that way they don't go into my savings rate because into my savings rate, I only have to put in, I have to only consider my income. So everything that it's investments, including dividends, including increase in capital worth, including this business thing, I of course don't include it. That's why also here you don't see those uh, those expenses. And also, in all reality, I also include into my investments the expenses that I incur to do my investments. So that means interactive broker fees and all of that. Those are all investments for me. So yeah, really into my savings rate, I only include the amount of money that I earn because I exchange my time for money, and then how much we spend, of course. So yeah, that's about it. Here I also have some fire considerations which are completely irrelevant and false because it's a very simplified way. Yeah, it maybe one day I will talk about it, but now it's a bit late. So yeah, thank you for listening. I will see you probably in the next quarter. I hope you had fun. If you have some suggestions, if you accounted things differently, please do let me know in the comments. I certainly have things to learn and I certainly can learn from you. And I will see you guys in the next video.